So I want to tell the story of the time that I went camping with a couple of my friends. Uh, it was really fun, actually. It was a couple of years ago. We went up on top of this mountain in somewhere South Washington. We had just decided probably like a day or two earlier that we were going to do it. We're like, what we want to do is go out in the woods, do some camping, real camping too, where it's not like you've got your campsite with your bathrooms and your little like, home away from home in the middle of the woods, all cozy and comfy. We wanted to find somewhere that was just kind of off the path a little bit, where we weren't going to see anybody else. It was just going to be us out in the woods eating beans or, something. I don't know what idea we had in our heads. Um, but yeah, so we went up on top of this mountain. Turns out there was snow everywhere. It was kind of inconvenient. We were thinking about taking my car, and I was like, oh no, my car can't muster it. Thinking about taking someone else's car, I just couldn't muster it. And then, so we ended up going with someone that wasn't planning on going in the first place. We're like, yo, would you want to come with us, Jack and I, because our cars couldn't make it. And that turned out to be a great addition. Actually, I really like spending time with him. His name is Hunter Smith. It's one of my good friends. So we made it to the top of the mountain after probably 2 hours of driving or something. I don't really remember much about it. But we set up our campsite, did our whole thing. I know we stayed one night, and then we were going to spend the entire next day hiking, doing whatever, building fires, eating food, all that stuff. So we did, just the basic camping stuff. And the next morning we went on top of this big hike up this big mountain, I guess. And when we got to the top, we found like this big cell phone tower and this building and all this cool stuff. And there's just this big crevice going down the mountain. And at this point, we ran out of food. We had no water. We really didn't plan good enough for it at all, but we did it anyways. I remember sitting on top of that mountain and just with my buddies. My feet kind of dangling off the edge. They had this big tree that you could just kind of hang on. And we had these big rocks that we just kept throwing down, and they'd go down the mountain, just break apart and shatter. It was awesome. I still remember watching like one of the big ones. I can like picture like all the little movements that it made on the way down. It was super cool. So we did that for a bit, and I think on our way back down, I was like, oh my God, I'm parched. I'm really thirsty. So I had the great idea to drink mountain water, unfiltered, obviously. It's from nature, which is, don't do that. It's a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. Um, so, I drank a bunch of water. We found a bunch of cool stuff in the woods and whatnot. And after about an hour or two, we are like, all right, let's pack our stuff. So we started heading home. And I felt fine up until the point when we started getting closer to our houses. I said that I would be dropped off last because it was just convenient for me or convenient for the driver or whatever. So we dropped off my buddy first, and then we started heading to Hidehouse, and I was like, ooh, my stomach don't feel so good. So I just remember pulling up to my house like, oh no, and I had to, I didn't want to tell anyone like what was going on. I was just feeling kind of funky. There's some weird stuff going on. So I ran to the back of the car and I like pulled out all my stuff and I was like, all right, dude, thanks for the ride. And he's like, yeah, wanted to chat for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, well, bye. Like, I gotta go. So I took all my stuff out, just threw it on the ground and struggled with the key. I remember being at the door like, come on. So I eventually got the door open, just flung it open, ran inside. I was like, I am not making it upstairs. That's where my bathroom was. I got to go to my dad's bathroom. Booked it into my dad's bathroom. It was jammed. I remember sitting there doing the same thing. Finally got it open. Pulled down my pants, and I did not make it. I did not make it. So for the next, like, I would say 12 hours or something, I was like trying everything I could to just clean it up. Paper towels. I tried to flush it. It didn't flush. Really embarrassing. So what I ended up having to do was I dug my hands in the toilet, right? And I scooped out all of the toilet paper used, and so I went to the backyard and I tried to throw it into the woods. and it just got like hooked on all the trees. I remember or it was nighttime, so I couldn't see it. So in the morning, I thought it was like, all right, it's all good. It smells a little weird in there, but and I'll get over it. It's no big deal. And my dad wasn't home yet, so he came home the next morning and he was like, "Oh, what is that smell?" And I was like, sitting in the living room, like, "Oh crap, I don't know, dude." And and he looked out his bedroom window, and I remember him saying, "What the profanity?" And I was like, "What? What's going on? What in the hell is that?" Like, what do you mean? And he goes out in the backyard and he's like, "Is that in the trees?" And I was like, yeah, Dad, I am awfully embarrassed. So I guess that was the story that I really wanted to tell about that. So that was a good one.